Hello, this is Sudarshana Starshine Star, and I hope this finds all of you very, very well indeed. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It is November 13th, and it's still 2024. I like to begin all of my clips with the three opening prayers. They're in Sanskrit and Telugu, and they are the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra, and I do this to bless, protect, uplift, and inspire you, me, and this clip. All right. Om, 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 Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruvena Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum Sishivarnam Chatubhujam Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhur Suvaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhaku Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachotayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, wonderful. The last clip I did on my YouTube channel, which is called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star to access all of my well over 100 clips there. I'm also on my 4th TikTok channel in as little as 9 months. I was banned for the 3rd time on October 29th for no reason. I didn't get a warning, but I tell the truth on my social media, and the censors and the controllers, really the minions of the controllers, they don't like that. So anyway, right before the election, it was banned. And so everything was wiped out to 0 again. I had to start all over, and I'm really very heavily shadow banned now. It's really making me laugh because actions have consequences, and like those that know say, nothing can stop what is coming. So all the censors will receive their right and proper justice for the crimes that they've committed against we the people of America and of this earth realm. So like I said in the last very short 2-minute clip that I posted on my YouTube channel on November 11th, on the 11/11, I really have so much to say and share and communicate. And right now I'm going to be focusing on, I have a series called the Controllers series. I think the last installment was part 5. And it's good to listen to that if you don't know who the controllers are, or how they came to be, or what's been ruling this earth realm for thousands of years. It's good to listen to that. And also on a more recent series called The Real Real. So the next couple days I'll be posting to both of these, expanding. Like this will be part 6 of the Controller series. So I just have to get into it. I'm going to be jumping around a little bit, but I really have something very juicy to share. That I'm sharing juice in this clip, but I also have something to refine. I mentioned it a few clips back on my YouTube about when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, when you really get past what looks like, oh, this is the top shelf of who's been controlling the world, but you really get down to the ultimate, it's a shock. And I'm going to go into that more, along with some helpful tips for you guys. Okay, so I'm beginning this part 6 of the Controllers, and I'm just going to be reading certain things, and then I will be going on to another clip, and I'll be posting them, this one today, and we'll see how soon I can get the other one that will either be in the Controller series or the Real Real as soon as possible, because I have so much to share. All right. So the British royal family has been flat low royal since 1840. And this information is coming from a very interesting account on TikTok called @interesting.sh.t. So the British royal family has been flat low royal since 1840. the interviewer who was interviewing this gentleman who put this out. And by the way, any information I share is not new to me. Like I say often on my clips, it was several years ago that I stopped counting after reaching 40,000 hours of independent research into the who, what, when, where, why, how of what's been running this world. So I don't just get something from someone and say, hey, let me put that up there. It's been backed by other research that I've done, and if I do make an error, like if it's something in current events and I hear something and then there's something more in depth to share or a different angle, or I was just wrong in what I said, I always immediately address that. I'd never want to be giving out false information or misleading anyone, and that's the way that I like to operate. All right. So anyway, what I'm saying that this gentleman wrote, the interviewer then said, explain that, flat, low, royal. And then the gentleman said, it means illegitimate, not allowed on the throne. So from the Battle of Waterloo, the British royal family lost all their money, and they are being funded by the Rothschilds in exchange for breeding rights. So the Rothschilds had the breeding rights to the British royal family from 1819 to 2019. And the interviewer asked, so what was the purpose of the Rothschilds needing this? And the gentleman responded, the British royal family were virtually bankrupt from 1815, so the Rothschilds funded the British royal family in exchange for the Rothschild breeding the royals. The whole British royal family are Rothschild Batards. And Batard, or Batard, is the real name for bastard. So what I did in my legal documents, I exposed King George V of England has been sired by Tsar Alexander III of Russia, and I exposed Queen Elizabeth II as sired by artificial insemination by Winston Churchill, who was actually the illegitimate son of King Edward VII. The interviewer says, hang on. And then the gentleman responds, I know, it gets too much, so I'll show you a chart. And the interviewer says, okay, so you've got it all laid out for us to see? And the gentleman responds, absolutely, and I've got all sorts of lawyers and all sorts of historians trying to undo my information. I've got all the royal family and all of their lawyers and all of their historians trying to undo my information. And in the end, it's true. Now, of course, this was sometime in the past because, as I've stated on my previous clips, and many people know now, the majority of of what is called the controllers have been taken out, but their sea of minions that have infiltrated this earth realm for so long is overwhelming, and it's still being scrubbed a little bit. Yes, a lot of the major players are gone, so if you're looking at any king, if you're looking at prime ministers of countries, if you're looking at presidents, if you're looking at vice presidents, if you're looking at things like that, especially the royals, they pretty much all have been taken out, and because of what they did, crimes against humanity, and in some cases also treason, those are capital offenses, capital crimes, and they received their proper, just punishment for that. And then in their place are doubles. They're either, doubles that you'd see someone that looks similar to that person naturally, or they're wearing a face mask, they're wearing a hyper skin, high-tech face mask with voice box technology, and I've shown that many times in my clips, and I can't show pictures of that on YouTube, but I have on my other socials, and that's been going across the board for what we call white hats and black hats in this battle that is the Earth realm battle to end all battles, the battle between light and darkness. It's also off-world, it's not just on Earth. It's ultimately a battle between Satan or Lucifer and the goodly and godly. You can say ultimately, Jesus is really standing out, and the Marys as being attacked against Satan and Lucifer, like they've been hunting for their offspring of Jesus and Mary Magdalene for so long in all across the world, and trying to exterminate them. So anyway, we're in also the Fourth American Revolution, counting the Cold War as the Third World War. And let me get back to this. So what I'm saying here is specifically with the Windsors, the Windsor name is not really the real name of the beings that were recently installed as the British royals. They were Saxe, Coburg, und Gotha. and Prince Charles, illegitimate Prince Charles, because wasn't really supposed to be a prince, as he stated quite openly and boldly that their family are directly related to Vlad the Impaler, who we know as Dracul or Dracula, was a real person in history, and a real vampire, did torture and do all the things and drink all the blood and kill the babies and eat them and eat the people, just like has been happening and has happened and is still happening present day, even though it's being cleaned up. And I have a lot to say about that. Like, I talked to that, but I have a lot to say about that later specifically, even though it's really hard information to not only say and put out, but to hear. And I also have a lot of photos. I can't really show them on YouTube. I might have to try to describe some, or maybe use some in the thumbnail and make it really small, so you guys have to screenshot it and blow it up for yourselves so I can get it on the socials, something like that. So let me go on from here. Okay, so changing the subject a little bit. Declassified CIA military mind control programs. Bluebird from 1951 to 53. Artichoke from 1951 to 53, MK Ultra from 1953 to 63, and MK comes from the German, it comes from the Nazi, and it means mind control. Control is spelled Kontrolle, MK Ultra. Then MK Search from 1963 to 73, then MK Naomi from 1953 to 1970, and then Stargate beginning who knows when, and ending supposedly in 1984. The name Hollywood derives from the term holly tree, or wood, a sacred symbol to ancient druids, witches, and wizards who used its branches to craft their magic, wands for casting spells. An example would be Merlin from the King Arthur saga, whose wand is made of holly wood. Harry Potter's wand is another example. Unbeknownst to most, the spell casting continues to this day in the form of subliminal messaging, Luciferian symbolism, and social engineering. Whether you like it or not, Hollywood is completely controlled by dark occultists. Wake up. And now it's being scrubbed. As I've said this so many times, and it's so hard because we really were raised to just idol worship these celebrities. And yes, I have an acting background. I've been in the creative arts, and I've been with professionals in Los Angeles and New York. So I've seen some things, not this stuff, but a lot of funny things I couldn't understand what was going on, but nothing overt except for the terrible satanic Sodom and Gomorrah feeling that was so torturous on my soul and on my mind, on my heart. Ugh. But anyway, so it's hard for people who, they like to watch TV, they like to go to the movies, they like watching streaming, they like doing this and that, or they were involved on a low level, like not an A-list celebrity or A-list producer, director, not in the high levels where you have to be totally compromised, and you do have to be initiated into the satanic dark cult. Satanic, you can say also Luciferian, it's the Illuminati, the Khazarian Mafia, Jesuit, Mossad, you could call it, there's so many branches. It's crazy what it's come to. It's really, we really escaped by the skin of our teeth. Right now we're just beginning to celebrate the beginnings of our victory, and not just in America, but all over the earth. But we're still in the cleanup process. We're still doing a lot of things, and you can't be complacent. Anyway, so now I'm going on to my notes here, which is changing the subject kind of a little bit. It says, now we can see devices and big fake cactuses in the west and southwest of the U.S. Along the highways of deserts, we can see devices like in palm trees or pine trees all over the U.S. And those things look like a big kind of like forks, and they're hidden, and sometimes they're disguised. And of course, this is all over the world. These are mind control devices, MK Ultra, using very low frequency ground waves, 150 to 190 kilohertz. 7.83 hertz is Earth's pulse rate. It feels good, producing an altered state. 10.80 hertz causes riotous behavior, and 6.6 hertz causes depression. MK Ultra Mind Control, the patent is DE 362842-0A1. That's a device for reproducing voice information in a subliminal technique, and it was patented in 1986, even though, of course, it was used decades and decades and decades before that. but that was the US patent date. Okay, so the MK Ultra patent US 4858612 was a hearing device patented in 1983. The patent for auditory subliminal message system and method, which is called US 4395600, was patented in 1980. There's a US patent US 3951134, which is apparatus and method for remotely monitoring and altering brain waves, in 1974. And this needs to be known. It's still going on. Even though President Trump and the white hats and Q and the white horse, on their white horses, the white hat military earthly alliance, which is all over the earth realm, has been helping to do this great cleanup, because this has been the worst scourge and boot on the back of humanity's neck: satanic control, off-world control via reptilian greys, and something else that I'm going to go into in depth in a more upcoming clip that really narrows it down. That also covers the source behind, other than you can say, yeah, it's Satan, it is Satan, but what is Satan using to source the, like the royal papal bloodline families, the Khazari Mafia, the Illuminati, the Jesuits, the Mossad, all of this. There's a lot to go into. Anyway, so September 11th, 9/11, implanted all over the place in movies and TV before 9/11. Was this predictive programming happening, or were these, quote, coincidences happening? Let me give some examples. In the movie The Matrix, which was a documentary, it's not fiction. In the movie The Matrix, Neo's driver's license, The Matrix came out in 1999. Neo's driver's license says born September 11th. There were 9/11 comms given in the 1980 movie Airplane, with an exclamation point. In the 1998 movie Armageddon, we see the Twin Towers attacked. We see in so many movies and TV shows prior to September 11th, 2001, close-ups of clocks, including digital clocks showing the time to be 9/11. In the movie The Pelican Brief in 1993, we saw 9/11 comms. In the 13th Floor movie in 1999, we saw a close-up of a clock in a tiny black-walled room. And underneath, the lead character was standing underneath a clock on the wall, and the hands are on the 9 and the 11. In the 1993, one of the series episodes of The Simpsons, we see calm after calm to infinity for all this stuff going on. Why? Because the creators of The Simpsons were 33rd degree Freemasons. Example, things like in The Simpsons 1997, the character Lisa opens up a magazine cover that has a New York written all in black, and then it has $9 across it, and it's showing a bus leaving New York City, and then, or really Manhattan, and then behind it, the background, it has the Twin Towers, so it looks like an 11. So as you look at it, it looks like 9/11. And in the 1997 movie The Peacemaker, we see George Clooney. He stands framed by two signs. The one above him on his right is a 9, and the other above his left shoulder is an 11. So when you look at him, it goes 9/11. In the movie Independence Day in 1996, we see a close-up of a ticker tape or countdown digital clock with the numbers 000911. In the movie The Big Lebowski in 1998, there is a close-up of a check being written that has the date September 11th on it. In the movie The Sixth Day, we see the main male character, the lead, that was in 2000. Lead, he was looking into a reflection of a mirror, and there are two lines written on it. The first has a 9, and the second line underneath that has an 11. So it reads top to bottom, 9/11. In the 1998 movie Enemy of the State, we see dialogue from the main character stating, Reynolds, Thomas Bryan, born 9/11, 1940. In the movie The Patriot in 2000, there's dialogue, 9 pounds, 11 ounces. That's perfect. Perfect. In the movie Die Hard 2 in 1990, we see a close-up of a digital clock with 9/11 on it. In Die Hard 3 in 1995, we see another close-up of a digital clock reading 10, then 19, then 11. In 0 means nothing, so you take it away, and then the clock is showing 9/11 forwards and backwards. Like when you see 1-0, then 1-9-1-1. You take away the 0, and it's reading from left to right, backwards 9/11, and then from right to left, it still reads 9/11. You go back and forth with it. You can see it. It's ridiculous. And the Satanics always love to do reversals of everything and mirroring of everything. And they love to do that because it's all about the reversal of the natural order of God's creation. You know, Satan was trying to be the best, trying to be top dog, trying to be better than God, but he's not a creator. But he was trying to subvert the natural order of Mother, Father, God's organic creation. And that's patently clear. In the, let's see, in the 1990, I think it's 1993, it might be 1995, I can't read my own writing there. In a movie called Hackers, we see white light spelling out vertically on the Twin Towers, crash and burn, it says. So my point in reading all that is to show, just in some examples, Hollywood was always created, it was called Babylon in its inception. It was created in New York in the 1800s, but moved to LA. The studio heads were never independent. They were always owned by ostensibly the Pentagon, giving out scripts and script approval, and behind them is Khazarian Mafia, is Illuminati, is, you know, the controllers. It was always used as a tool it looked like entertainment, but the word entertainment means to control the mind. So it was always a device to, kind of like the ancient Romans, bread and circuses, to divert us, to keep us distracted. We think we're being entertained. We're like, oh, yes, entertainment. The subliminal messages on top of the overt messaging and script and everything is shaping and forming our belief systems, seeding us with predictive programming, meaning that because the controllers, they cannot create, they're completely left-brained because they left God. God didn't do it to them. And they operate out of pure, what they call cold, hard logic and reason. So they're incredible planners. They're very anal. They plan and plan for hundreds of years and going on and on and on and on. But they can't create. So that's one of the main reasons why they do what they do to humans, why they need us, humanity, we're co-creators with the divine. The way that all the terrible things they do to us, is because they cannot create, so they need us as a vehicle, and they need our babies and children for different reasons, which I'm going to go into again in the next 2 clips I'm going to put out, specifically detailing what that's all about. And so predictive programming means that let's say, you know, you're just walking along, you don't know, whatever, you go watch a movie, you watch TV, you watch streaming, you read a book, best-selling book, or whatever it is, you watch a talk show with the satanic cult beings that are installed in talk shows and everything else to herd you along like a good little sheep, and you hear about something or you see something, a visual or sound. You know, they combine it with very horrible Hertz sounds that really are satanic and disturb you, get you not unpeaceful and just disturbed the way they like you. And they plant things in your subconscious, in your conscious and subconscious, that because we're co-creators and we create through our third eye, we create through our visioning and also heightened emotion, then we bring that into creation. We pull that through the unmanifest into the manifest. They use us that way, and any good black magician knows that. They use us actually to hurt ourselves. We're actually doing it to ourselves, not knowing, most of the time not knowing. So it's very terrible. And of course that's being cleaned out. I look forward to new films and, you know, new professional, although maybe a new word, not entertainment, but, you know, we like to have music, we like to see films, we like to read books, so a new world with that is going to be opening up. And that's just one way of control. But also out of the televisions, there's been what's called Leela waves, just like we have out of any smart device. It's actually working, doing mind control on you. It's not a joke, as well as the towers that we see, like, you know, the hidden channels, hidden devices that we see all over, not just cell phone towers, but that are just doing the crazy frequencies that disrupt us, and combined with all the nano parasites that are in the water, in the air, in the food, all over the place, and along with other things, it interacts to activate very strong mind control within us. So what's been done is really horrific. Changing the subject a little bit, in October 2020, the Department of Defense, or called the DoD, put out a file called Electromagnetic Spectrum Superiority Strategy. And now this is about the war of frequencies. Everything in this matrix is built by inversion and distortion. We are constantly in a battle with negative man-made frequencies, and it's all by design to keep you within a certain bandwidth that not only keeps you in fear and confusion, but to prevent you from realizing your true nature, that we are divine sparks of God. You know, we're co-creators. We're very special in all the creations of Mother, Father, God in the cosmos, in the galaxy. We're very special, but we don't know that. We think what we call normal is a very small peanut slave life, and we even give that thumbs up. But that's changing. We're going into a new earth here. We're going into a way of recollecting ourselves and pulling back the veil to see all the illusions, the negative illusions, and to smash them and stand up and start living as what we